After several videos covering the Xiaomi 15T Pro and the Honor 400 Pro, it's time for them to face off. I'm throwing the Samsung S25 FE into the mix, so let's find out who comes out on top. All three phones will be released for around 800 euros, but are now much cheaper, like the Honor, which is available for less than 500 euros on AliExpress. Link in the description. You might know that the Xiaomi and Honor have different photo styles. Both phones are set to vibrant by default, so let's see how these styles affect the final product. We will start with natural on the Honor and vibrant on the Xiaomi. The S25 FE has a wider field of view, while the 400 Pro looks the most vibrant of the bunch. At 2x, the 15T Pro produces the brightest output, but tends to overexpose the sky. We have a 3x telephoto lens on the Samsung and Honor, while the Xiaomi gets in closer with its 5x telephoto. All three shots are solid and quite similar in their overall appearance. We will look at deeper zoom levels later, but for now, let's use the vibrant mode on the 400 Pro. This shot is significantly more vivid than the other two. The Honor also shifts its look quite a bit when switching to the main lens, with all three brightening things up at 2x. The Xiaomi looks a bit weak here, though it takes a really impressive telephoto shot. It and the S25 FE capture the door frame's colors quite well, while they are slightly off on the 400 Pro. If the vibrant style oversaturated the colors too much for your taste, let me introduce Honor's authentic style. Except for brighter exposure and how they handle the sky, the Samsung and Xiaomi are actually quite close. The 2x shot is a weak point for the Xiaomi, coming out too bright. Meanwhile, the 400 Pro is overkilling it with the saturation, and the S25 FE actually looks the most authentic here, no pun intended. However, a disappointing aspect of the S25 FE shot is the visible noise. The 400 Pro is too extreme with the colors, and the Xiaomi darkens the stare too much. Enough about styles, let's zoom in on the house number. As mentioned, the Xiaomi and Honor are set to vibrant from here on out. While the 400 Pro again delivers the most vivid colors, the Xiaomi is actually quite close to the Samsung, just slightly brighter. Both are definitely more true to life with the main lens. At 2x, we see a stark contrast. The Xiaomi is quite bright, whereas the Honor heavily oversaturates the image. The ground in particular looks unnatural. The Samsung sits somewhere in between. The S25 FE's telephoto shot looks poor in comparison, while the Honor leans heavy on sharpening. The Xiaomi easily takes the best looking telephoto shot. Moving to max zoom, we have 30x on the S25 FE, 50x on the 400 Pro and 100x on the Xiaomi 15T Pro, which also secures the best shot here. The Honor offers super AI zoom, which sharpens and cleans up the image, but distorts the overall look. Aiming at the door, the Samsung produces the darkest shot of the three, and unsurprisingly the Honor is the most vibrant. The sky is an entirely different shade of blue. The Xiaomi offers a well-rounded image. With the main lens, we see a trend I mentioned earlier. The 15T Pro and 25 FE look similar, but the Xiaomi is consistently brighter. The Samsung and Honor produce bad shots here, the latter is blurry and the S25 FE is too noisy. Xiaomi takes this round. Regarding the telephoto lens, the Honor offers higher readability than the Samsung, but the Xiaomi easily tops them both. At 10x, the Samsung doesn't improve, giving us a poor result. The Xiaomi is obviously relying heavily on AI, but it retains a lot of the text. The Honor struggles significantly, and the Samsung gave up a long time ago, just trying its best to render the flash symbol correctly. The AI super zoom doesn't improve readability much, though it is prettier. Xiaomi's max zoom is nice to have and makes text more readable than the others, but it struggles with smaller text too. Portraits are next. The Xiaomi and Honor offer distinct styles here. Let's start with Aqua Vibrant and the Leica Portrait. What held true for the general shots applies here too. The Xiaomi is close to the Samsung, just a bit brighter. The Honor puts out the punchiest colors and brightest output. While the look is similar at 2x, the Samsung falls behind in image quality and edge detection, where the Honor does the best job. All three let us use the telephoto lens for portraits. While the S25 FE improves, it still lands in third place. The Xiaomi and Honor both deliver really good shots. The 400 Pro even has a closer option at 6x, which results in a high quality portrait. Next is Aqua Color versus Leica Portrait on the Xiaomi. The Xiaomi underexposes the shot with the main lens. I know we can adjust exposure manually, but I'm presenting point and shoot results here, as that's how the vast majority of people use their phones. At 2x, exposure is no longer an issue for the Xiaomi. The Honor's colors are too warm, a trademark of the style, while the Samsung lacks image quality. Edge detection is the worst on the Samsung, while the Honor and Xiaomi try to retain even the smallest stray hairs. A look at the Max Zoom portrait again confirms a high quality shot from the Honor. Last is Aqua Classic. The Xiaomi is still using Leica Portrait, but this time it almost overexposes the shot rather than underexposing it. Aqua Classic yields a beautiful black and white image. The Samsung doesn't take bad portraits, but the other two are generally superior. Starting with the wider option on the Samsung and the 0.8x on the Xiaomi and Honor, the 400 Pro again has the most vibrant colors. Before you ask, no, we cannot change the photo or portrait styles on the front cameras for any of these phones. The Samsung is actually the most true to life regarding colors here. We have a closer option, which gives us good selfies as well. The Xiaomi struggles a bit with exposure, while the S25 FE remains the most realistic. Using portrait mode on the front cameras, the Xiaomi still struggles with colors, exposure and edge detection. The Honor remains strong in this regard, while the Samsung stays the best at color reproduction. When you're in the car, you want your phone to be secure. That's where today's sponsor LISEN comes in with a MagSafe Carmount. It uses vacuum technology to attach securely to your windshield or your car's dashboard. Just stick it here, secure it, and you're ready. Now just take any phone which has a MagSafe case and you are good to go. You can easily remove it also. And the best thing is, it will not leave behind any glue or residue. You can of course also place it on any other flat surface. You have to want to prepare it with a cleaning cloth and then you can just fix it here and it will be also tight here on your phone. And another big advantage to have it attached like this on the dashboard over the more traditional way of car mounts, which are like this. I have been using a LISEN one already since many years, but these ones are blocking the air vent. It is much better to have the air vents free and not risking any damage to them. Another great thing is that you can just easily wash the suction cup if it ever gets dirty, and then you can just reattach it. And of course you can also just attach it in your shelf and then you can watch my videos while getting a bath. Next up are videos. Before we check them out, I want to ask for your help to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We are quite close and it would be great to enter the new year on a high note. I'm now using the front-facing camera, shooting in 4K with 30 frames per second on this beautiful November day. The full week it was just raining and today the sun came out to play for a while and I thought, let's just take the chance. And speaking of the sun, you can see that all three have issues with it in the sky here to not overexpose it. Also a little bit tricky situation here. Either way, colors seem to be a little bit more vibrant on the Samsung actually. We are on all phones on the standard setting, which is 0.8x on the Honor. On the Xiaomi and Samsung we can't do anything, so no zooming here. And due to this also the Honor of course has a wider field of view. But seriously, I think the Xiaomi is not far off. So there's not a big difference here in field of view between the Xiaomi and the Honor, while the Samsung is much closer in. The colors are definitely different. When I look at the colors of the building here, especially this part, it looks the most saturated on the Xiaomi here from the preview. I'm now recording in 4K with 30 frames per second on all devices. Actually all three are looking good here from the preview. The Xiaomi has a little bit stronger blue tone, it seems. Otherwise, can't really make much out here. Overall, also the picture seems to be a little bit brighter here on the 15T Pro. We are the main lenses. Let's go one time to the ultra wide on all. The S25 FE seems to have the by far widest field of view here with the ultra wide lens. Back to the main lenses now one time. Let's one time flip around. A little bit difficult with the 3 phone setup here, but I should be now in the focus of all 3 phones here. And this is of course good for vlogging. If you want to have the best quality, you could use it like this. And another quick video in 4K 30 frames per second to show you the zoom capabilities while filming. We're on the ultra wide on the Xiaomi 15T Pro, 1x, 2x and 5x as a visible on-screen options, and 15x maximum zoom. The transitioning between the lenses is also rather smooth. You can see go to 2x, it is taking a little bit to look good enough. Next to the ultra wide 2x, it looks very blurry and then settles in. So now on the Honor, we're in the ultra wide 1x and 3x on screen options and a maximum zoom of 10x. Again, the transitioning ultra wide 3, ultra wide 1, and last but not least the Samsung S25 FE. We are on the ultra wide 1x, 2x, 3x, and while we are zooming we get more options here, 10x and 12x, which is the maximum zoom. So ultra wide 2x, 12, 1, 10, 3, to right, 12, 2. This is also fine enough. Time for low light shots. The Samsung captures the colors well but has the worst picture quality and is also blowing out the lights. The Honor and Xiaomi are close in quality, but the 400 Pro's colors are off, giving the win to the Xiaomi. If you look at the top half of the Honor shot and switch to the main lens, you can see a massive shift as it gets closer to the other two. The Samsung's main lens unfortunately can't compete, producing a grainy shot lacking detail. Neither 2x shot is particularly good. Using the telephoto lenses creates another color shift on the Honor, giving the sky a different tone. However, its image is the brightest and handles lights the best, while Xiaomi struggles the most in this specific area. The S25 FE does a decent job, but is once again the noisiest. The 10x shot hands down goes to the Xiaomi. The ultra wide shots don't give us a clear winner. The Honor's main lens actually has the best quality, even if the sky isn't authentic. The Samsung stays in the last place due to the huge amount of noise. The 2x shot shares this issue, while the Honor oversharpens. The 15T Pro wins with the telephoto lens, providing the most detail, while the 400 Pro's colors shift in the wrong direction. We get 3 vastly different ultrawide shots here. The Samsung is the brightest, but filled with noise. The 400 Pro is darker, perhaps the most visually appealing, while the Xiaomi sits in the middle. Interestingly, both Honor and Xiaomi shift toward the Samsung's look with the main lens, though the Honor is too vivid. The 2x shots aren't far apart, with Honor's added vibrancy being a factor. The Xiaomi secures another win with a telephoto regarding image quality, but the colors are off, especially in the lower half. The 10x shots are all equally useful, but Xiaomi has the edge. Now the same with night mode enabled. The Xiaomi 15T Pro doesn't offer a dedicated night mode, and the S25 FE doesn't seem to profit from it in regard of noise levels. The main lens shots are good from all 3, but I have to criticize the Honor's colors again, as it illuminates the whole scene in yellow. The same applies to the 2x shots, where the Xiaomi is the brightest. Samsung's telephoto performs better than Honor's here, but the Xiaomi stays on top, keeping in mind that the colors are still off. The 10x comparison gives us basically the exact same results as before. For night portraits, we stick to Arco Vibrant on the Honor and Leica Portrait on the Xiaomi. The 400 Pro takes the best shot overall. The S25 FE lacks quality and the colors are too off on the Xiaomi. By the way, I have no idea why the bokeh didn't activate on the Honor, as I definitely turned it on. The 2x shots aren't good from anyone. Using the telephoto lens, the bokeh finally decided to work. The quality of my face is comparable between the Xiaomi and the Honor, with the Samsung far behind. However, the Honor has an issue with the blurring half of my body for some reason. The S25 FE and 15T Pro don't have this issue. Sticking to portraits, but with the front-facing cameras. The first shot is a clear win for the Honor. The Samsung is too blurry and the Xiaomi is too grainy. Weirdly, the subsequent shots are significantly worse from the 400 Pro, so judging by those, the Samsung gets the win. We see the same consistency issues here again. The first picture from the Honor looks fine, but the following shots look awful. I am not sure if I needed to wait longer between the snaps, but the other two had no issues with it. Either way, the Xiaomi performs better here than with the rear portraits, and the Samsung does a good job too. I'm shooting in 4K with 30 frames per second and I'm on the ultra-wide lenses, which is of course not the best way to film at night especially, so let's go to the main lenses on all. You can see all three get a significant boost in quality and also brightness. The Samsung is actually the darkest here, but it looks actually also more true to what I can see here, judging by the screen. The Honor and Xiaomi are both brighter than what the reality shows to me here. So what I'm trying to zoom here, starting with the Xiaomi, we go back to the ultra wide ones, and 1, 2, and 5x, and then digital up to 15 times, which is quite fine for a nighttime shot. Now the Honor, back to the ultra wide, 1, 3, and maximum 10x, which looks worse than what Xiaomi offers here. And last but not least, the Samsung S25 FE with the ultra wide, 1x, 2x, 3, 10, and 12. I'm recording 4K with 30 frames per second using the front-facing cameras of all three phones, and I had to go out another day because the other day I went out, the one phone didn't record for some reason, and so I'm doing this now again. And it's quite dark here on this road. You can't really see much here. I'm approaching the street light, so it's also quite busy here now. Across the road and to this area with a bit more light. So there's enough light, of course. All three are performing okay. Not really able to say which one is more accurate. At the colors here, they look a little bit punchier on the Xiaomi here. Well, they look quite more accurate on the Honor, to be precise. Keep on working. Now there's less light again. So there you have it. Which of these three is your king of mid-range phones? The Honor 400 Pro suffers from the typical Honor issues, which are oversaturated colors. On top of that, there is a real inconsistency across the lenses. The Samsung lacks image quality and had the most noise in its shot even during the day, but the selfies were actually fine at day and at night. The Xiaomi did a really good job overall and boasts a very strong telephoto lens in comparison. What's your take? If you want to get one of these three phones cheaper, check the description. If you liked the video, please subscribe and I will see you in the next one.